Hello, Tadeo.
Nania.
Well, we've got lots of exciting questions from our viewers.
All right.
All right. So the first one is I am following my excitement every moment I can. It's inspired me to travel to New Zealand, from New Zealand to USA, and go to Sedona in September. I trust that synchronicity will align my travel with a live event in Sedona in 2026. Is planning a year in advance going against the formula of living in the moment?
No, you can plan whatever you wish. The idea of living in the moment is being open to those plans altering in a way that will actually add some knowledge or serve you or let you learn a lesson or give you an experience that you actually need on the way. So it's all right to plan, just don't be rigid about it and insistent about how it needs to come about or even whether it needs to come about, and allow your reality to shift and present to you what it is you actually need to experience. Setting a plan is a way of guiding yourself, propelling yourself forward so that you can be ready to accept whatever may come to you that may not be in your original plan, but you know will actually be part of the life plan you planned from spirit.
I suppose things like if the person doesn't make it to the airport, then for some reason or another, an accident, whatever, that's the other synchronicity that's taking part in what's happening,
As
right?
long as that event is the result of an actual synchronicity and not something that they are doing to deliberately miss the timing. So, in other words, if they are doing something that is out of alignment, doing something out of fear, out of negativity, hesitating, procrastinating in a way, that may be a different lesson to be learned. But if they're not doing any of that and still, even despite the best efforts, they do not make it to the airport, then yes, synchronicity is showing them that something else needs to happen. And there's another experience that they need to have at that point that's more important than what they had originally planned. So it's just about how that happens and whether or not they're honest in their self investigation as to why that came about. Is it because of something they were doing out of alignment or something that is simply the natural result of synchronicity bringing them what they need?
So it's all about self-honesty and knowing yourself.
Yes, absolutely.
So, can it be said that we are also living in a state of synchronicity? Like, if I misplace my keys or cannot find the $1 million idea, then do I really need them right now? Or when I need them, they'll be here, not a moment before, not a moment after.
Well, yes, and this is sort of similar to what we have already said. It depends on the reason why you're having those experiences, like missing keys and things. One simple exercise or one simple lesson could be pay better attention to where you put things. Or again, if you already are paying attention and still can't find them, that's more of an indication that something is going on to provide a particular experiential lesson for you. So, yes, you will always get what you need in the moment, not a second before, not a second later. And everything is synchronicity. When you ask, are we living in synchronicity? Yes, everything is an orchestration. There are no accidents, nothing out of place. But it's still all about the reason why certain things crop up and what lessons you have to learn in those experiences.
So, something like if the person keeps getting distracted and they can't find their keys and those kinds of things, some of that's self-created because you have anxiety about going or something
Yes.
like that.
Well, yes, because you're
And
using the word distraction, because the idea is that something that happens, even though you might be using your best efforts to make sure that it doesn't, and it still happens, that's not a distraction. That's synchronicity saying there's a lesson here, there's an experience here that is important for you to have. But if it is the product of distraction, procrastination, self denial, so on and so forth, then that's another different kind of lesson you need to have about investigating yourself as to why you would be creating those experiences.
Yeah, that's very helpful. The idea that, now maybe you've already asked this, what sorts of synchronicities led to the primordial soup that created life on Earth? And why has no one seen this process take place again on our planet or even other neighboring planets? What do you
Because
think?
it is an error that the primordial soup existed in that sense and created life on Earth. That's why you're not seeing it, because it didn't happen to begin with that way. Your planet was seeded either intentionally by extraterrestrial sources or through the idea you call panspermia, where organic material and DNA came from outer space and arrived on your planet through meteoric or cometary bombardment. It didn't actually occur in the way that a lot of scientists used to think with regard to the idea of certain elements in the primordial soup igniting the idea of life on your planet.
So this planet was purposefully seeded?
In certain occasions, yes. But again, also the idea of the simple natural seeding that occurs throughout the cosmos by DNA material being brought to different planets on meteors and comets.
This next question is, can you receive signs in physical reality that serve as warnings of what may happen if you carry on down your current path? Or are they always a positive sign of alignment?
Well, yes, you can receive warnings, but that's a positive thing to happen to you. For example, if you're traveling at 70 miles an hour in your car down the freeway and you suddenly get a feeling to slow down, well, that can be a warning that you might have gotten into an accident had you kept going at your present speed. And of course, being given the guidance to slow down as a quote unquote warning is still part of the positive alignment that keeps you alive. So, in that sense, a warning can be representative of a positive alignment because you're open to receive the guidance from your spirit guides or angels that can help you in life, even though it might have to be delivered as a warning to keep you safe.
And this person's question is, when I feel like I'm not receiving or aligning with my synchronicity, when I feel like I've missed the message, what is the most effective way to recalibrate my frequency and trust that I'm still on the path of my highest excitement?
Follow the formula, start from zero, allow yourself to build back up again. You'll come back into alignment always by following the formula as precisely as you can.
Okay, and this question is asking, how will the government react to the hybrid children? What will be their legal status?
Their legal status will be in the same form as an adoption. Any child that is adopted, it will follow that pattern. And many of the hybrid children have been introduced already into your society through adoption agencies. So that's a natural way for them to gain what you call legal status in your society through adoption.
Will there also be like hybrid children that are teenagers or young adults?
To some degree, yes, but we're not allowed to talk about that group at this point.
Okay. Um, this person is asking if they will be they are part of the hybridization project. And so many people ask you that.
Yes.
What would you say would be some good ways that people could at least get a sense that's very possible that they are?
As we have said many times, that the people that usually find us or communicate with any being that is actually a hybrid, like the members of my civilization, it's a good bet that in some way, shape, or form, they're connected to the hybridization program. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're connected in the same way. It doesn't necessarily mean that they have donated DNA, although many have. It may be that they're involved in other ways that help bring about contact and help bring about interactions with hybrid beings that will open up after open contact occurs in a couple of your years. So they're involved in some way, shape, or form, generally, if they have found us or interact with any other hybrid beings at all.